بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم وصلی اللہ علی النبی الکریم رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی. The theme for the present talk is an introduction to Islam. You know, there are two basic branches of religions, Aryan and Semitic. Hinduism and Jainism belong to Aryan branch of religion, and Judaism and Christianity and Islam belong to the Semitic branch of religion. Now, according to the Semitic belief, religion is based on revelation. Religion is based on prophetic revelation. And all those revealed religions were one and the same. God revealed same deen or teachings to every revealed religion. There was no difference at all. Quran says, لا نفرق بین احد من الرسل. We are not allowed to differentiate between prophets. All prophets were equally prophet of God, and every prophet was revealed the same religion by God. So, Islam is not a superior religion and not a new religion. The only difference is that Islam is a preserved religion, an authentic version of divine truth. So this is the only difference. Apart from this, there is no difference at all between this religion and that religion. This is the Islamic, well-established Islamic belief. Now, let us take the religion of Islam. Islam is an Arabic word. Literally, Islam means submission. Submission. According to the Quran, submission is the only religion of both man and the universe. The only difference is that the rest of the universe is following the same religion under compulsion. But man has free will, so man obeyed the same religion by his own choice. This is the difference. Otherwise, submission is the religion of both man and the universe. So, Quran is a preserved text of this divine religion. Then Quran was revealed to Muhammad bin Abdullah. Quran is the sacred book of Islam. Quran is the authentic source of the religion of Islam. And Quran was revealed to Muhammad bin Abdullah. You know, Muhammad was born in Mecca in 570 AD. He received the first revelation in 610 AD. And in this sense, he was the founder of the religion of Islam. Although religion of Islam is not a new religion, but in its present form, it was founded by Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad was born in Mecca, then he migrated to Medina, and he died in Medina in 632, and he was buried over there. Now, the teachings of Islam are basically 5 Iman and ibadah and akhlaq and muamalat and dawah. So these 5 tenets are basic tenets of Islam. Now let us take the first, that is Iman. Iman means faith, belief. So when you discover God as the creator, as the sustainer, as the Lord of the universe, so when you discover this fact that God is the Lord of the universe, and you declare that I believe in God Almighty, then you recite this kalima, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. This is the beginning of Islam. It means that I bear witness that God is one. There is no God except one God. And Muhammad is the prophet of God. And he is the final prophet. He is the last prophet. So he is the kalima. And from this kalima, Iman begins. But kalima is not simply a recitation. Kalima is a declaration. It is not lip service, but it is a solemn declaration. When you discover the truth, when you discover God, when you discover Muhammad as the prophet of God, so when you discover this fact, then you declare. So it is a declaration. It is a solemn pledge. When you say kalima, it is not a lip service. It is very, very serious kind of declaration. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. So this is Iman. And Islam begins from Iman. Then, you know, if you discover God as the Almighty, as a creator, as a sustainer, so it is not a simple thing. It is a great, great revolution. It brings about a revolution in your personality. Why? Because accountability is attached with Iman. When you discover God, you also discover the concept of accountability. It means that man was not created without purpose. It is mentioned in the Quran that man was not created without any purpose. Man was created for a well-known purpose. So according to the creation plan of God, God created man and settled him in this planet Earth for test. So this Earth is a testing place. It is not a place to enjoy. No. Everyone, every man and woman are put on the test. So all those things you see in this earth are test papers. Poverty and richness, power and being powerless. Every situation is a test paper. So this is Iman. So when you say that I believe in God, you say that I am accountable to God. I accept the creation plan of God. Then Iman means that you are ready to set your priorities in accordance with the Iman, with the Islam. It means to reset your priorities. When you declare Iman, it means that you are declaring that I am ready to reset my priorities. So it is a very, very serious thing. Then there is ibadah. After Iman, Iman is a kind of intellectual development, spiritual development, inner development. Iman is not simply a lip service. It is a storm in your soul. It is an explosion in your mind. Iman is like an explosion. Iman is like an explosion in your mind. Iman brings about great, great change in your soul. If you find that your life is, if you find that there is no change in your life after Iman, then it was not Iman. Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu aminu. It means that declare your Iman again. So a true Iman bring about change in your in your life. Iman gives you a new direction of your life. Iman gives you a new priorities for your activities. Iman gives you a way of thinking. Iman inculcate the spirit of God-oriented thinking. Your life becomes God-oriented life. All these things are result of Iman, result of belief, result of declaration. Then there is ibadah. Ibadah means prestige. When you declare that you are a mu'min, you are a believer, you accepted God as your God, then it is but natural that you want to worship God. Worship is a symbol of submission. When you worship, it means that you are presenting yourself before God completely. So ibadah, there is a hadith. What is ibadah? Ta'budillah ka'annaka tarah. Do ibadah as if you are seeing God. It means that if you are a true believer, if you are a true worshipper, then your thought becomes so strong that you feel that you are in the presence of God. If your Iman is a discovery, a realization of God, if your worship is a true worship, then you strongly believe that you are living in the presence of God. This is the highest feeling in a soul of a faithful person, in a soul of a faithful person. So ibadah means that you are seeing God, not directly, but in an indirect. So without spirit, simply form is not ibadah. Prophet saw man praying. After praying, he came to the Prophet and said, Assalamu alaikum. Prophet said, Irja fasalli fa innaka lam tusalli. Return back and worship again, because your worship was not a worship. Prophet saw this man that although he is worshipping, but his worship is simply a worship of form, worship of rituals. It is a spiritless act. So without spirit, there is no ibadah. Spirit is the crux of the ibadah. So without spirit, simply form is not ibadah. So Prophet said, Irji fasalli fa innaka lam tusalli. Go back and worship again, because your worship was not correct worship. It was spiritless worship. So it is not acceptable to God. So this is the real concept of worship in Islam. In Islam, worship is to establish communion with God. In Islam, the concept of worship is nothing less than communion with God. So you have to be very, very serious. When you are trying to be in the companionship of God, when you are trying to contact with God, then you have to be very, very serious. Very, very serious. Extremely serious. So this kind of spiritful act is worship. For example, you say in namaz, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. More than 200 times. Now Allahu Akbar means God is great. But God is great means that I am not great. When you say that God is great, you are also saying that I am not great. If your thinking is that I am also great, then you are telling a lie when you say Allahu Akbar. So it means that Allahu Akbar is a lesson of modesty. Modesty. So salat or namaz teaches you modesty. And modesty is the crux of the Iman. Modesty is the crux of Islam. When you discover God, you discover also that I am very, very helpless. Sense of helplessness is the source of modesty. Sense of helplessness is the source of modesty. So only that worship is true worship, which carries this spirit of modesty. Without the spirit of modesty, it is not a true worship. And then, modesty is not required only when you are in the mosque. When you are doing ruku, you are doing sajda in the mosque. So modesty is not required only in ruku and sajda in a mosque, but modesty is required also in the society. When you are outside the mosque, you are in the society, you are interacting with others, at all those occasions, it is also required to be modest. Modesty is the only true behavior, true social behavior of a Muslim, of a mu'min. Then, after ibadah, the other teaching is akhlaq. Akhlaq means morality or ethics. Now, what is akhlaq or what is morality? It is the social norms. When you live in a society, you have to follow some values, some good values. When you live in your family, when you live in your neighborhood, when you live in a society with other people, you have to follow some basic norms, some basic social norms. It is this social norm that is called akhlaq or morality. So Islam teaches some moral values, some ethical values. These values are to speak truth. You have to speak always truth. Telling a lie is not allowed in Islam, neither directly or indirectly. Then honesty. You have to be honest every time. Then peace. You have to be a peaceful member of your society. And tolerance. Tolerance is a very, very important value for a Muslim. And justice. You have to be just every time. Even when you are angry. Even when you are angry, you have to follow justice, principle of justice. وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا اعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَىٰ. It means that if you are angry, even then you have to follow the principle of justice. You are not allowed to deviate from the principle of justice. No excuse is acceptable. No excuse is acceptable in this regard. So all these things are among those moral values which are revealed in the Islamic religion. There is a hadith, بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. The saying of the Prophet of Islam. He says that I was sent to you to complete the moral values. It means that I have set examples of morality in every aspect of life. You know, Prophet's life was a very eventful life. Prophet's life was a very, very eventful life. He faced all kind of situation, from peace to war, from poverty to better situation. In every time, in every situation, he followed the moral values. So Prophet is an example. Prophet is a model of morality. So we have to follow all these moral values in our social life. No excuse is acceptable in this regard. No excuse is acceptable in this regard at all. Without morality, there is no Islam. Without morality, there is no Iman. So every mu'min, every Muslim is bound to follow these ethical principles. Even when he is angry. Anger is not an excuse. Enmity is not an excuse. No excuse whatsoever is acceptable. No excuse whatsoever is acceptable in this regard. So this is akhlaq. When you are living in family, when you are living in your neighbor, when you are living in society, at every time you have to follow those moral norms, moral values, ethical principles. And you know, these are not simply a social principles. The more important part of this is that man is accountable. Man is accountable. You will be, you will be, you will be presented before God, and God will ask you what kind of conduct you observed when you was in the society, when you were in the society. So this provides a incentive. In Islam, moral values are not simply values, but it entails the incentive. When Islam says that you are accountable, God will ask you about your morality. So it provides an incentive. Without following the ethical principles, without following the moral principles, no one can be granted salvation in the hereafter. So this is what is called akhlaq, or moral values, or ethical system of Islam. Then there is the muamalat. Muamalat means dealing in money matter, in property matter, and all other matters. So in dealing, you are required to be just. Your dealing must be under the your dealing must be honest dealing, just dealing. It is very, very important. There is a hadith that ad-deen al-muamala. Dealing is the deen. It is dealing by which you are recognized whether you are true Muslim or not. So dealing is your identity. Good dealing means you are pure Muslim, true mu'min. And bad dealing means that you are not a true mu'min. Good dealing proves that you are a true believer, and bad dealing proves that you are not a true believer. You are a bad Muslim. And you will be accountable before God. Those people who failed to follow the moral principles given by God will not find entry into the paradise. Paradise is for those people who have proved that they are a men of character, who are just person. So one who adheres moral values will be allowed to enter into paradise. And those who fail to adhere these principles, moral principles, they will not allowed to go to paradise. So it is very important in Islam. In Islam, moral values are not simply social values, but In Islam, moral values are identity of those persons who will go to paradise. So dealing is very important in Islam. Very, very important. Just dealing, honest dealing is the most important part of Islam. Without just dealing, without honest dealing, you cannot say that you are a Muslim. No. No birth movement are Muslim. Simply a birth certificate. Only a birth certificate cannot give you the title of Muslim. When you adhere the principle of Islam, when you follow the teaching of Islam, then you are a Muslim, then you are a mu'min. Then the fourth tenet is dawah. Dawah is also a very important principle of Islam. Dawah is a duty towards other people. Dawah means the truth you have discovered, you have to convey the truth which you have discovered to other people. You cannot live with truth alone. You have to invite people. You have to convey this truth to other people. So dawat is also very, very important. There is no excuse. No excuse can be acceptable if you fail to do dawah work. Dawah work is a duty of every mu'min and Muslim towards other people. Now, what is dawah? Quran is a book of dawah. If you want to know what are the principles of dawah, what are the tenets of dawah, you read the Quran. The whole Quran is a book of dawah. Quran gives you all the details of dawah. The most important aspect of dawah is that dawah means to make people aware of the creation plan of God. God created man with a special plan, which I call creation plan of God. So all the prophets were sent for this purpose, to tell people about this creation plan. This was the most important duty of every prophet. Now Muhammad was the prophet. Muhammad was the last prophet. Muhammad was the final prophet. So this duty is to be performed by his ummah. Now ummah Muhammadi is bound to perform this duty. Every member of this ummah, every member of Ummat Muhammadi is bound to do dawah work. Dawah work for a Muslim is not an optional, it is obligatory. obligatory, according to his capacity. According to his capacity. One who can write books, he must write books. One who can speak, he must deliver speeches. One who cannot speak and cannot write, he must there are so many Islamic books, Islamic pamphlets. He can distribute all these pamphlets and books. So those who cannot, those who have no capacity to speak, capacity to write, they have to distribute these Islamic pamphlets, Islamic books to others. And if there is anyone who cannot do even this work, and he cannot deliver speeches, he cannot write, he cannot distribute Islamic books, then he make dua. Then he make dua. So no one is exempted from dawah work. Either you have to speak, either you have to write, either you have to distribute Islamic literatures, or you have to make dua. So no one is exempted from this dawah work. Dawah work is a duty of all mu'min, all the mu'min and all the Muslims. Is it not enough to follow the Islamic tenets by your own? It's not enough. You have to propagate. You have to invite other people. You have to call other people. You have to distribute Islamic literatures to others. So it is very, very important, and there is no excuse will be acceptable in this regard. Then all these tenets, all these principles, iman and ibadat and akhlaq and muamalat and dawat, all these things are a training course for you, including dawah. Dawah is also a training course for you. So the most important aspect in Islam is tazkiyah. Tazkiyah means purification. Zalika jazā'u man tazakka. Paradise will be given to those who are purified soul. So you have to purify your soul. You have to purify your personality. You have to purify your mind and heart. So all these things are helpful for you in this process of purification, including dawah. So it is very, very important to know that only purified soul will find entry into paradise. So, and all these tenets, all these principles are helpful to purify your personality, including dawah. Dawah is not only in inviting others. It is also introspection. It is also self-correction. When you interact people, when you dialogue people, when you do the work, then there are so many occasions, so many situations that gives you opportunity to purify yourself. For example, Quran says, وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Do the work in a beautiful manner. Do the work in a beautiful manner. And what is that beautiful manner? It is also mentioned in the Quran. فَهَذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ. This is a beautiful manner. You have to do the work in a beautiful manner. And that beautiful manner is responding positively even against negative behaviors. Responding positively even in negative behaviors. فَهَذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ. Do good deed in return for bad deed. And then you will find that one who was your enemy, he will become your dearest friend. It means dawah gives you a vision, positive vision. The work gives you a positive vision. And what is that positive vision? To see enemy as your friend. To see enemy as your potential friend. This is the vision of dawah, vision of Dai. Dai is a very, very unique person. Dai, a person who is Dai, he is a very, very unique person. He is able to love others. Even he is his enemy. Jesus Christ has rightly said, love your enemy. Love your enemy. The same is required in Islam. Love is the starting point of dawah. When you want to invite some people, when you want to do dawah work among some people, you have to love, you have to show love towards them. Otherwise, there is no dawah. Without love, without compassion, without well-wishing, there is no dawah. So, these are 5 principles of Islam. These are 5 tenets of Islam. First is Iman. Iman is submission before God. Iman means submission before God. Then Ibadah. Ibadah means doing worship in the presence of God, with this feeling that you are in the neighborhood of God. Then akhlaq. Akhlaq means adopting good behavior in your society. Living as a predictable person in your society. This is akhlaq. Then ma'amalat. Ma'amalat means good dealing, just dealing, honest dealing. So it is also a very, very important part of Islam. Good dealing, just dealing, and honest dealing is a very, very important part in Islam, in Islamic life. Then dawah. Dawah means conveying the message of God to all mankind. is a universal task. Dawah is a universal task. It gives you universal vision. Dawah gives you a universal vision. Dawah gives you the courage to go to global interaction. Dawah makes you a superhuman being. Dawah makes you friend of all, even your enemy. So Dawah is a very, very important aspect of Islam. So these are the 5 basic tenets of Islam: Iman, Ibadat, Akhlaq, Muamalat, and Dawah work. This is called Dawah fi Sabilillah. Without following these 5 principles, nobody is a true believer. Without following these 5 principles, no one is a true believer or a true Muslim. So it is a duty of every Muslim to know the details of these 5 principles. You can find the details in the Quran, in the Hadith, in the life of the prophets, in the lives of the companions. It is duty of every Muslim to know the details of these 5 principles and then follow these principles: Iman, Ibadat, Akhlaq, Muamalat, and Dawah. These 5 principles makes you a true character, a true human being. These 5 principles make you a true human being who is able to find entry into the paradise. Those who will be blessed with paradise. So these qualities are of those people who will be blessed paradise in the hereafter. So you have to study the Quran and Hadith. You have to know all the details of these principles so that you may follow with complete soul and heart. This is the Islam which was revealed to the Prophet of Islam in the first quarter of 7th century. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم أجمعين.